It's going to be close here. I'm not sure they're going to give the whole shot to. Oh, that is Tomac or Cooper that got kicked sideways. Cooper got kicked sideways. No surprise, out front, Hunter Lawrence. Aaron Plessinger again. Plessinger to the lead.
Aaron Plessinger, wise move. There was a lot of stuff. That was Justin Cooper. Good save by him. Yeah, Eli was on the outside, a little bit farther back, but Aaron, exactly where he wants to be at. Unfortunately, the number 4 is probably exactly where he wants to be at too, right behind him.
Yeah, he's 4th behind Cooper. There's Lawrence in the 96, fighting Cooper. Battle as we go uphill to Godzilla. It's going to be 3 wide.
Yeah, we're racing NASCAR right here. 3 wide over here.
It's like a photo shoot. We had scrubs on both sides and then Sexton in the middle. It almost happened again there.
Yeah, this track's starting to open up with some of these lines, and you know Hunter Lawrence wants to get around Justin Cooper because the number 4 is going to go around both of them.
Well, more NASCAR. The high bank left turn, and he passed 2.
Ooh, that was pretty. So pretty. What a move by him.
JT, what are you hearing on the 4? Wow.
Well, for Sexton there, he's just praying that both of them don't scrub towards him, right? You saw him straight up and down, right in the middle, probably white-knuckled on that Red Bull KTM, but it all worked out.
And he's already to the rear wheel, JT, of Plessinger, and he wants to lead.
Oh, that was close. Luckily, Aaron just kind of kept that bike straight, but hello, that's your champion, leaving no doubt out there. And just a difference the way he shows up these second motos compared to the first one. He's like locked in, ready to go. And he went from 6th to 1st, opening lap.
Maybe the championship hangover begins tomorrow. Definitely not in this moto, JT.
Yeah, and I think for Chase Sexton, there are 2 ways these championships can go. One, you ride so loose and so free. You put your best laps in early, and you go to the front without any hesitation, the way he did in the second moto. The other side of that is you really have a letdown moto. You have this adrenaline dump where you can't find any intensity. You can't get that sense of urgency that you've had because the mission has been accomplished. You've won that championship. So I always wonder, which way is it going to go? Well, I think Chase Sexton has answered that with a resounding answer of intensity.
But Plessinger, you can see how badly he wants it as well, James.
Yeah, I thought Aaron, he would have had to pass, but he was unsure what the chase was going to continue towards the inside. Otherwise, he would have double passed him. And just look how close he was, and just that one corner lost that time. But yeah, championship is wrapped up for your teammate, so let's go out here and battle. You know he wants it.
Tomac up to 5th. He's close to Lawrence, who's close to Cooper. There's the first view of the 3. Man, Lawrence has still not been able to get Cooper.
Yeah, maybe he can get here. Same place that Chase got up beside him last lap on the inside, and he should be on the inside of him. He can get out of this corner pretty good, which he does. Get over that. There's your pass.
And he takes a look over to make sure he has the distance on the run out here on the bottom. He needed to make that pass 1 lap ago because the KTM guys have jumped him.
Yeah, you can see Aaron almost went back up the inside of Chase, and now if you're Hunter Lawrence, Eli, even Justin Cooper, this is exactly what you want. You don't want to see that 4 pulling away, as it looked like Hunter almost stalled it in that corner right there. But this is your opportunity while Chase has got some riders to dealing with his teammate Aaron, and here comes Eli.
Trying to get Cooper, who we heard is a little banged up from a big crash last week, and he quickly is overhauled by the 3.
Nice move by Eli. Justin wasn't able to give her that little roller hip jump they were able to do.
And that's that podium battle there that we were talking about. If Tomac can get to Hunter Lawrence and pass him, he'd be on the podium today. But it's not going to be easy. Hunter's been tough all year.
Yeah, that inside line starting to work for him. They're all doing it just like Hayden Deegan. So nice move. They all picked up on that. And as quickly as Aaron was right there, you can see Chase starting to stretch it out in front.
Chase and Anderson now on the shot. The Monster Kawasaki in green, closing on Cooper. This is the battle right now. Lawrence and Tomac. Look at ET3 go.
See, now this is where Justin Cooper almost hooked the outside of that berm. Eli kind of stays a little bit farther on the inside, slides into it. Nice move, but you hear that Yamaha up there.
Oh, that's classic Eli. All gas, all clutch. Not quite enough.
Yeah, from that angle, looked like he was a little bit closer than what he was, but Hunter did a good job at blocking him. But this is where Eli, he needs to if he can get around Hunter, then I think he can keep this momentum up. One thing he doesn't want to happen is to stall out behind him. He's going to lose too much time, and that might break his rhythm.
That wood section, wasn't that the problem for Tomac in Moto 1?
Yeah, that where they both went on the inside. Let's see if he picks it up. Kind of jumps out on that single as we were watching in the 250 class. Those guys are doing it. And you see Hunter Lawrence jump that jump and threw his arms off almost if he had a little bit of arm pump again. It's the same thing we saw a few races ago back in Redbud.
Tomac just annihilated the corner on the outside, trying to make the ground back up that he lost there in the woods and in the up and down of Godzilla.
Are they going to get battery charges on the way he beat that corner up?
I mean, that was violent for sure. Now we go under the covered bridge, the Hoosier Hole here in Indiana. There's Cooper coming through next.
Yeah, I'm surprised that these guys aren't jumping at that quad or Quint like Hayden
Deegan did. Yeah,
a lot easier.
Justin Cooper and Jason Anderson come through next, 5th and 6th, and it's Craig, Nicoletti, Simonson, and Noren. Battle continues here, Pro Motocross. And we've got the SMX playoffs coming up soon. Sign up for text alerts. Just scan that QR code on the screen. Or go to supermotocross.com to get the info. Battle continues again. Eli Tomac, Hunter Lawrence, hooking it up.
Yeah, Eli should have him. If he can clean this corner, should sign him up on the inside, line him up on the inside. There you go.
Does he have it?
He's got to close Hunter off before Hunter gets back to the inside. This outside's been faster. There you go.
There's the pass that he couldn't get done in the first moto. So Eli Tomac up to 3rd. Can he get even more? This is a vintage ride. I know it's not for the lead, but this is much more competitive. He's in the battle. He was not there last week. Got 4th in Moto 1, but now he's seeing the front runners both motos today. We got 4th in Moto 1, but now he's seeing the front runners both motos today.
Yeah, he's riding good. I mean, he's still doing that same part in that section. Just looking at it between races, and he's in almost 2.5 seconds in that one spot over there. So
yeah, you actually looked at the segment times. The gap was that big in that one sector.
It was that big. Eli was actually in the top 3, 1 and 2, every other segment except for that, and he was the 4th fastest, the 5th fastest in that. About 1.5 seconds slower than Chase Sexton.
Now that Tomac's rolling, I want to ask you about the head movement that I hear you mention a lot with him when he's on. What are you looking for as the sign with Tomac?
Well, yeah, if you just notice, like when he's turning, it's almost like his head, it's like he has no neck muscles, like they just can't stand straight up. And I think he does that, obviously, to let him turn, because wherever your head goes, that's where your bike goes and your body goes. So when he's on form, he'll have his legs on the bike, gripping a motorcycle, kind of like that corner, and then he allows his head to dictate where he's going instead of putting his foot out. So when I see Eli doing his thing, you see that head laid over like a baby trying to go to sleep.
Are you seeing it a little bit in this moto?
There's a baby out there going, all right, a baby tired.
We will see if Tomac can hang on to this. This would be an overall podium for him. He has to hold off Lawrence all the way to the end. How much endurance does he have in only his 2nd race back from an injury? Send it to JT.
Well, you see Eli Tomac going in his split section to the right, which will then bring him back to the inside through this next section. This is where he passed Hunter Lawrence, but it's like a chess game through here because the inside turns into the outside, which then will become the inside again as he climbs this hill. So when you think about how to make a pass, you have to think about how they built the racetrack this year, and you almost have to be 2 or 3 chess plays ahead to actually make a move.
And it took a couple laps for him to find that line to make it happen. So Eli Tomac making that pass on Hunter Lawrence. But the KTM boys are gone. Sexton with a 1-second lead over Plessinger. But look at that, Tomac looking at a podium today if he can hang on to it. That's your overall positioning.
Yeah, I mean, he still looks pretty good. And I think Eli you can just keep going and maybe just get a little bit of confidence to be able to just close in on those KTM guys. I mean, I think he's still right there. He's doing a little whip and the bike kicks around. Let's see how he plays this out. But yeah, that head's leaned over. I like it.
As for Lawrence, once again, the second moto not as good as the first. We asked him yesterday about that process and trying to get stronger.
It seems like it's such a simple thing, right? We all see it's just second moto. Not being as good as the first moto. They're still good, just lacking that, few percent. And I think it's just, I think I'm managing it well, not riding above my ability and over my head to force, the second place into a worse, maybe a crash or something like that, resulting in a 5th or a 6th. So I think there's two sides of the story. You can just go, hey, look, I'm not quite there yet. I'm not quite on the level of 1-1s yet. And, the number one guy at the moment, Chase, has put together, the whole puzzle this year, and he's a really strong competitor. So I'm still working to get there. My first year, I think I've done extremely well.
Yeah, he's done extremely well, and actually talking to him yesterday about that, how much he's grown from A1 to now, back in Supercross to now. He said it's been a head down, butt up, trust the process kind of a season. And in fact, I was actually asking him and Darren, Lawrence's dad, just about the practices and how it could change with Jet getting back on the bike. And they said, yes, there's a camaraderie and a chemistry between the two. There's a lot of fun had when they're out on track. But Hunter has, during the weeks, been so focused on his own ride and his own plan and his own strategy that he hasn't necessarily missed Jet riding with him side by side, but he hopes that it elevates the game, obviously, going into SMX.
Yeah, I mean, to that point, I mean, who would want to miss riding against Jet Lawrence? I don't care if he is your brother. But no, I mean, I think the one thing it will help him is, like, wait, if Jet comes back, maybe some of the pressure of the team, they'll have another guy focusing on. But Hunter's been doing great all year long, and I would even say since he's been on this 25 bike, the second motos haven't been that bad. He got a bad start at Unadilla, and then last weekend you could almost blame it on a tire choice. This is probably the one moto since he's been on this bike that's kind of been more previous to him switching over, and you just got to think it's got to be a little bit frustrating to see these guys pull away from him.
Yeah, Tomac now has about 5 seconds on him. Tomac, second all time in podiums in this class, and he'll add another one. 71 total. I think Carmichael has the most with 84. Here's Phil Nicoletti in 8th again in his final Pro Motocross start. He will race the SMX playoffs, but this is his final race season. Had him in the press conference yesterday. It's a little bit of bonus time. He thought he tore his ACL at Hangtown. Says does have some knee damage, but the ACL is intact, so he's able to make it to the end of the year and right where he wants to be. 8th is generally the spot he's shooting for, and there he is. And after Nicoletti comes Freddie Noren, and those guys battle during the week. They ride at Club MX together. They've had some great battles on the motos. Wait a minute, look at this. Aaron Plessinger has caught Chase Sexton.
Yeah, Chase must have fell because I was just thinking he just put in those hot laps, and now AP, let's get some.
Oh, we might have him on the inside, James.
Now we
couldn't get over that wall.
Eli Tomac going around the outside. There you go, AP.
Oh, couldn't quite.
He's got the championship wrapped up. A little knockdown. It'll be all right. He won't be too mad at you.
Man, Sexton put 2 seconds in him the previous lap, and now it's back to even up.
Yeah, I think Chase must have fell right after the mechanics there. Must have tipped over in the corner or something.
Here it is.
Going down, everything looks good. Going to outside, loses the front end. No, just stalls the motorcycle.
Oh.
Yeah, pretty easy to happen because they're braking so hard. And that's a pretty tight 90 corner. So I've seen Chase do that a couple times in Supercross where he was stalling up in Seattle, but no harm, no foul. At least he didn't have to pick up the motorcycle or kick it.
That's right. And that orange carrot just dangling in front of Plessinger, still working on his first career moto or overall win. As a 450 racer, it's right there in front of him.
Yeah, this was that moment for him. Now you start to see Chase get back away, because I was just looking up. I'm like, all right, this is Chase Sexton time. Halfway, second moto. It's hot outside. He had that gap.
Well, that has really been the story this year, the fitness of Sexton late in the race day. Send it to Katie.
Chase, in talking with him earlier today about Aaron Plessinger as a teammate, he said he is the best teammate I have ever had. His positive attitude that he exudes, the fun that they have, the warm-ups that they get together, it's just a blast riding along with Aaron Plessinger.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of this whole move for Chase has been great since he moved over to the KTM team, and I call it's the APing, you know, just in a great mood. I just feel like I'm APing today. I'm in a great mood, so having him as your teammate.
See that out of Sexton?
Yeah, KTM Power at halfway. There you go.
Okay. Yeah, it is halfway through. Monster Energy is available now at Kroger. Back end stepped out for Sexton. It's still not over. Here comes Plessinger again. It's that chess game that JT was talking about. Outside to inside is the choice for the 4.
Yeah, you see how Chase was on that inside jump. He didn't roll over that single. He jumps out. It's that momentum that I keep talking about. And you can see the gap that he's able to get over AP right there.
Now, the bottom of the screen, we've been joking about the 2 likable vets, Kyle Chisholm and Dean Wilson, battling for the final guaranteed spot into the motos. 20th in the standings. They're battling on the track right now. Chisholm 13th, Wilson 14th. The problem is Wilson needs to make up about 10 points on Chiz in this moto. So even though they're fighting hard, it won't be enough, even if he makes the pass.
He's going to have to chiz on the chiz. You have to pull a jism on him.
He might make it around the outside. Dino gets it. And you see that bubble battle, that 9-point gap now. And that's a lot of it because Wilson did come back last week at Budds Creek. Got tangled with the rider in the first turn, broke his wheel, couldn't finish, didn't score any points. That might be the final difference maker of Wilson going to the last chance qualifiers at the playoffs. Chiz going straight to the motos.
Yeah, he is. Just admiring Chase here. Just ever seems like this outdoor season, there's been a point where he's been so in sync with this motorcycle, JT.
Yeah, and you're just watching Sexton. He's made a few mistakes while we've been watching him here, had that stall, but you know, I love to watch him. You see him standing up, entering all these corners. He has so much flow around this racetrack, and he's putting the sections together without really having to get on the brakes, without really having to slow down too much, and it's allowing him to carry momentum. And when Chase Sexton is firing on all cylinders, that's a type of riding you see from him. It's not disjointed. It's not a lot of stop and start. He puts the track together deliberately, and it's pure magic to watch. And this is back to the form that we used to see from Chase Sexton. It's no wonder he's our champ. He looks like the Chase Sexton of old.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a couple parts of this racetrack where Chase is really killing these guys, and one of them's right here. Just that little bit right there, not rolling the inside of that jump, just kind of jumping out, and he was a little farther on the inside. The lap before, he had it right. And what it's doing, as you just mentioned, JT, like he's not stopping going around the racetrack. Another part where he's really killing these guys is coming up here. Same thing, a little single on the inside. Chase's continuous momentum out, just jumping out. He doesn't do it as good as for me as I'm talking about it, but that's where he's making the time up. And it seems small, but what he's doing is continuing that momentum, and there's no stop and go, and he just makes it all the way down the straight. That's why he's out front and pulling away from these guys.
If you're watching this today, you got one more chance. Flip over, go to the Telemundo Deportes YouTube channel, and you can listen to the Spanish race call with Edgar Lopez and Tommy Rios. Or if you miss it today, you can listen in the United States, same thing. Telemundo Deportes YouTube channel at the SMX World Championship in Las Vegas. Or if you're outside the United States and you're watching on SMX Video Pass, you can just select to listen to the Spanish language broadcast every week as Sexton. All right, the alarm is off. It was getting dicey there for a bit, but it's up to 3.2 seconds on Plessinger.
Yeah, he looks good. Looks like he's well in control. He knows exactly what the motorcycle. And as I was saying earlier, ever since he's been on the KTM, and especially halfway through this outdoor season, it seems like they done figured out the bike to where it almost looks like it's lowered to the center, or it's really center, it's close to the ground. He's got a lot of feel on both ends, and Chase is really putting that bike exactly wherever he wants and has a lot more control over it, almost like in a sense if he's riding a mini bike, and that's the way he's riding. He can put it where he wants. It seems light, and man, they have found the package for this guy, and it shows even with the number 7 right behind him.
The only thing they have not nailed are hole shots. We'll give you the motosport.com hole shot replay. Hunter Lawrence in those Hondas been great all year, and I think he's going to get another one here.
Hunter Lawrence, I mean, he's got to get on the gate and just feels like he's going to hole shot. Just like Chase feels like second moto, he's going to win. 96, they got it dialed in, and a lot of this comes down to is mental, but I think it might have been Cooper. Yeah.
Look at that.
Don't forget about Mr. Cooper.
Watch his driver on the outside. Nicely done.
Yeah, and that's what we're used to seeing with Justin Cooper, especially on the 250 class.
Yeah, has it not been quite as much of that with Cooper in the 450s? A solid season for him, and he was third in points for a while. But Plessinger's flurry here at the end, he's going to take third in the championship if it ends this way. I asked Plessinger if there's bonus money in the line for that. He's like, well, I don't know about that, but it's a nice resume bullet the next time your contracts are up. To say you once got third in a 450 championship. Plessinger's already locked in for at least one more year with KTM next season.
Yeah, there's a lot of bonus, and the biggest bonus might be just the pride getting up there and winning these guys. But yeah, I'm almost getting caught stuck in a rut watching Chase, just kind of admiring him. I think this is the best I think I've ever seen the guy ride.
In this moto right here.
Yeah.
We've seen some great rides this season.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it's the fastest I've ever seen him ride. It's just the most, like, he just knows exactly where that bike's going. And as I mentioned, it looks like he's riding a mini bike. He knows exactly where it's at, JT.
He just has so much flow. You see him kind of going inside to outside, putting the bike wherever he wants. Just like you mentioned, and I don't know if it's just a racetrack. Certainly he's familiar here, but it's I think part of it is confidence. Part of it is they've gotten the bike sorted out. But this is him at his best, right? And it's so important for him to carry this momentum and to be his best self entering the SMX playoffs. So who knows, right? We start over. It's a brand new championship, a 3-round championship, but boy, does he look good here leading the Pro Motocross Championship.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, ever since Chase came to this track the first year, 2020 or 21, like, he's always had a pretty good flow. But yeah, I just noticed he's got a lot more lean on this bike, and that's when you know he's doing good. And even this guy, he lost the toe with, the 2 in front of him, but Aaron Plessinger and Chase Sexton, they're riding good. I mean, I think this is the best I've seen Aaron ride all day. I don't know if the KTM just works well on this racetrack, but Eli's doing really good. I think it's a huge improvement from last weekend. He looks like Eli Tomac, and a guy who hasn't raced outdoors for a couple years. I mean, to come back in your second race and be on the podium, I mean, you'll be all happy. Just unfortunate for him, I know he wants more. Kid's doing good.
Yep, we'll have his chance. Playoffs looming. Did not get to see Eli in those last year. He was out with injury. It'd be really fun to see him in the mix this time, building off the base he's built with these 4 final Pro Motocross motos. And same thing for his teammate, who'll be coming through next.
Yeah, you see how much time Eli's losing right there. There it is.
Wood section has been tough on the number 3. Okay, so that's Tomac in third. I think we can check in on Cooper. There's a huge gap. Almost 20 seconds back to Cooper in 4th. Let's go to Katie with more on the 32.
Justin Cooper saying that now he's feeling comfortable with the bike. He wasn't always comfortable with that bike here mid-season. He now knows the competitors as well. He does feel like he's been a little lonely, but now having Eli back, having Cooper Webb back, he feels like he's back in the groove with the team. In fact, looking at his pit board right now, it says 2 sprints. So the mindset right now for Justin Cooper is get through this, 2 sprints, got to get on that podium.
We asked Cooper yesterday, Katie, to take stock of his rookie 450 season.
Yeah, it was a tough one. That one definitely hurt and just took the wind out of my sails, basically. Yeah, it was a tough situation, kind of a racing incident, but I didn't really see it coming, so it was kind of just focused on racing forward, and didn't really expect that type of crash to happen. So obviously a little bit bummed about it, and yeah, we're just gonna move on from it and come into this weekend and try to give it our all for the last round.
Oh, he's talking about that crash last week when he got into the back of Hunter Lawrence.
Yeah, I mean, there's moments of any championship and races that you're like, whew, I got lucky. And Justin's riding great. As I mentioned, Jet Lawrence, I'm sure you're home at watching it. Thanks for ruining it for all these rookies out here. He got big shoes to fill, but just like your brother, and Justin, they're riding great, man. Great year.
Yeah, by any other standard, it's solid 450 debuts for Hunter and for Justin. Hunter, last couple laps have not been kind to him. He just ran a 2:25 lap time. Sexton's running 2:13s right now. So not sure what has happened down the stretch for the 96.
Yeah.
Cooper got him, and Anderson could be next.
Yeah, Jason's closing in quite a bit. And I noticed over the first couple laps when he jumped that tabletop, he took his arms off and wasn't adjusting the clutch. His spreading his fingers out, which tells me he might have been dealing with a little bit of arm pump or just tightness, and that's kind of what it looks like right here, because he's definitely laboring a little bit. And I know Hunter, you know, it's really strong. It is hot. It is at the end of the championship, but you can tell he's struggling right now.
Battle we're watching right now is Kulas with Chiz. So that's one more point to the good for Wilson. Wilson's going to need Chisholm to drift out of the points-paying positions, and that might just barely be enough. Oh, he'd actually be 1 point short if that were to happen. That is unbelievable. Kulas started this moto in 30th. That's what this dude does, up to 15th right now.
Harry. Just
impressive.
Fighting along, and yeah, Chiz probably knows in the back of his head he does some good calculations, just like these guys in overalls. Like, he knows where he needs to finish.
This is the SMX World Championship final round of Pro Motocross. Harry Kulas, one of the many riders putting together a schedule to make as many races as possible to qualify for the SMX playoffs that are coming up. Very friendly veteran out of Estonia, and actually sold his bikes, gave it back to the dealer that helped him. Go back to Hangtown. That race was the Michaels Reno Power Sports Hangtown Classic, round 2. They gave him a bike, rode it as much as he could, gave it back after Washougal, got a new bike from them, put it together at Unadilla, and he's riding that bike today. That's the cool thing about motocross. You take him off the showroom floor and you can compete at a high level. JT.
Well, you get to know these privateers, and we asked Harry, how do you actually pronounce your name? We've heard it so many different ways, and he said, well, it kind of depends. Where are you from? Because one of his parents is from Finland, and the other is from Estonia. He claims dual citizenship, but both of them pronounce his name differently. So I just threw up my arms and gave up. At that point, if his parents can't agree on how to pronounce his name, how am I ever supposed to know?
Glad we finally have an excuse when we get this done incorrectly. Harry Kulas, or whoever you say it, riding well right now from 30th up into the top 15. Pro Motocross finale in Indiana. There is Harry Kulas in the top 15. Got around Kyle Chisholm is 16th. Derek Kelly 17th. Devin Simonson is in 18th. It's his 6th career start. He didn't even qualify for the motos last week on the Club MX 450 at Budds Creek. So much better now. Simonson is in the points paying position in 18th, and he is from Indiana. So good for Devin. Colin Park is 19th. Preston Kilroy rounds out the top 20. Henry Miller is 21st. Sexton continues to lead, and now it's up to 11 seconds over Plessinger.
Yeah, you got to believe. And that was after the stall, too. So,
yep,
good ride. Man, just a way to having fun as we're watching Harry do his thing and Chase do his. Track actually looks really fun, actually, right now.
Well, you kept saying early in the day, this is one of the few tracks on the circuit you have not ridden. So I think everybody is going to have the same thought after that.
That's probably why.
Get out here, bro.
That's why I'm probably saying it looks fun.
No bad memories.
No bad memories. I'm like, out here, I'm Chance Hymas and Unadilla. Oh, what are y'all talking about? This track's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes not knowing is the best way to know.
Yeah.
And yeah, it looks easy in the booth, right?
Yeah, I'm like, it ain't that hot. It's about 65 degrees out here.
Yeah, feels that way in here. So Kulas going to finish the season strong. He's going into the playoffs. Be fun to watch the battle. The Chisholm in, Welton, Nicoletti. Those guys are going to be fighting. I call it the Colt Nichols. Colt Nichols got, I believe, 9th last year in SMX points and made about $100,000. That's the type of positioning these riders are hoping for, but it's going to get harder.
Yeah.
Webb will be back. Jet Lawrence will be back. Down the line we go. Here's another one of these likable vets.
Yeah, I mean,
Roman Pape.
You think about the story we were talking about with Harry, and you know, different bikes, you know, suspension, a wife bringing suspension, going back and forth. And I mean, for all these guys, really, imagine what some of this money from the playoffs can do for Harry and a lot of all these guys, Romans and all these guys.
Yep. And this rider here, he's on the Privateer Journey team. That's a long-running team operated by Teddy Parks, who's like, you look up Texas in the dictionary, you see a picture of him. He's as Texas gets. Old Teddy Parks, this Privateer Journey program, he hauls bikes to the races. Essentially, it's a lot less money to have everyone do it as a unit than for each rider to do it individually. And Teddy's been helping riders get their bikes to the track and race for years, but he is going to end that program this year. He wants to retire and hang out with the grandkids. Well done, Teddy. Helped a lot of riders, literally hundreds of them through the years. And that's who Pape there on the 68 rides for. Kulas is going to make the move. But although Teddy's supposed to be done, since he's from Texas, he's still going to help Kulas get his bike to Texas.
Oh, that's cool. There's heroes all out here,
Yep.
whether they're in motorcycle gear or all around. The sport really is a family. Cool to see
Kulas
how much
just
everybody
made the move
helps.
on Pape. Yeah, everybody pitching in. And that's a really cool deal there for all these riders. Pape out of France, by the way. And there you see Wilson has cut the gap down to 6 points on Chisholm. That final battle to be guaranteed into the motos. Chisholm has to hold on. Wilson would have to get McElrath. And then hope Chisholm doesn't make it, or Chisholm drifts out of the top 21 in this moto. He'll be going to the LCQ otherwise.
Yeah, it's going to be a tall hope. And as you mentioned, last week at Budds Creek really got to him. Dean, that is.
Yep, had some bad luck there. Dean riding with he had litany of knee injuries through the years. It hurts to go these 30+2 motos, but he wanted to make his way into the playoffs, so he still showed up for a bunch. Looks like Anderson has passed Hunter Lawrence. This is a rough second half of the final moto for Hunter. Anderson 5th now, Cooper 4th, Tomac 3rd, and that will be 3rd overall for Tomac. Plessinger 2nd. A couple of 1-2s for the KTM squad lately.
Yeah, and then winning that 250 class. Went 1-1 today, so obviously it's working good. But yeah, just thinking about Hunter and just his rod, I think this is what Dazzy was talking about, just keeping him focused, the championship being out of sight, and now having a race like this. This is one of those ones that you don't have anything to fight for. You're bummed that you lost a toe, maybe you're not feeling good. So, you know, tough one, but Hunter's had a great year. He's going to finish 2nd in his championship, and, you know, I know he's going to get a win next year, or possibly in this playoffs. He's not done for sure.
So what will it look like when the playoffs begin? It's going to be different than this. Those tracks are hybrids. There is a motocross section. For example, when you watch as the white flag comes out, the playoff opener at Charlotte, there's a motocross section. The people that built this track, Jeff Russell, Randy Poulter, they'll be there to build the outdoor section in Charlotte. But even Sexton himself, even though he rode well and won at Charlotte last year, he admits he's not sure what they're going to do for the playoffs. It's really that thin line between, do you want the ultra stiff supercross suspension for the jumps? You kind of have to have it. But how do you get through the smaller bumps? And that's what everybody's really going to be guessing. It's going to be different than what we have right now.
Yeah, that's the cool part. It's a huge challenge for these guys, but I think they'll be a lot more prepared this year than they were last year.
Yeah.
And I mean, everybody's coming into it completely different than where they were last year. You know, Aaron's going to end this thing on a good feeling, obviously with Chase wrapping his championship, feeling like he can beat anyone. And Jet Lawrence coming back from injury, Eli coming in. So it's going to be different for a lot of these guys, but I'm excited to see it. And just going to see if it's a continuation of this motocross series or different feel, different results.
Well, with that thought is, we were wondering, as JT said, you know, are you going to get the best of Sexton in this moto, or now that he's wrapped the title, maybe not. But for him, is it a little bit larger goal to just keep that gas pedal down
Well, I mentioned, I've been saying this all year. Once Chase figured out how to go fast, he was just going to always be fast.
Yep.
And I don't think Chase, the way he's riding, it's coming too easy for him to not do this. I don't think he's doing anything besides going out there and riding. He is comfortable. The KTM has figured it out. So for Chase, this is who he is now. Like, this is going to be that guy. And if somebody's faster than him that week, they're just going to be faster. Well-deserved champion.
No doubt about it. He's working on his 13th career overall win. That'll move him to 18th all-time. Oh, this is something cool. James just jumped out of the booth. He's going to cheer Chase Sexton on. You're going to see this right now. Little James going to do his Big James impression like his dad. Watch closely on the right side. That's James right there. I got to carry this home myself. Chase Sexton, 1-1 in Ironman, and the crowning moment on a 450 motocross title. And he throws the ghost ride. Well, that looked familiar. Saw that last year from Jet Lawrence. James, you still got some fitness jumping in and out of here. You're back.
Hey, a ride like that, a championship like that, that man deserves respect. Had to go out there and give it to him.
Did you miss the ghost ride or did you see the ghost ride?
I missed the ghost ride on there.
It's unprecedented. That's the first time we've ever had one of the broadcasters jump out of the booth, out on the track, and back into the booth. And it's time to celebrate Kyle, the mechanic, who got, as we said, called off the bench. He was